Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the anime and manga recommendations. So today I'm going to be talking about Alita Battle Angel slash, it's also named Gunnm. It's also called. And then the other one is Haibane Renmei. Haibane Renmei is the first one I'm gonna talk about. That was my dog, if that came up. But Haibane Renmei basically is a dark fantasy psychological slice of life, I like to say. It has a lot of cozy moments, but it is if I'm being real, it's a very serious anime half the time. And just for, a warning for that, and honestly both of these series, to be honest with you, pretty brutal series. Well, not pretty brutal. I'd say definitely Alita is a lot more brutal. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, I'll give a warning that at least for Haibane Renmei, there's self-harm, there's gore, and there is blood. So if you have any of those type of phobias, I would definitely not hop into this. But regardless, let's get into it. I mean, Haibane Renmei is a short series, so if you're into short series right now, which I sort of am, and I always end up rewatching this, this is the perfect anime for you. It's only 13 episodes, a very well, beginning to end completed story. Of course, you get so sucked in the world, you don't end up believing it, like wanting a little more, but like to a certain degree, like it's very satisfied. Every storyline gets wrapped up very nicely. And basically I'll give you the premise. So this is a 2002 anime, and it's strange yet heartwarming, and again, perfect short series if you're into that. So basically the premise is these young ladies, gentlemen too, are born in these cocoons in the village of Old Home is what they call it. It's like this little building, and soon after that they grow these like charcoal gray wings, and they are fitted with a halo, and they don't remember anything from their past. It's really implied and also just said that, like, yeah, I do remember having a name, but I don't remember it at all. So whatever the person's dreams were, as they were in the cocoon, their name after that. And the main character's name is Raka, which means like falling, which is what she was doing in her dream. And the main character Raka, she becomes accustomed to the strange town that's right next to Old Home, because Old Home is outside of the main town, called Guri. And the Haibane have strict rules, which is kind of something I love. It's very whimsical, but they have like strict rules where like they can't buy new clothes. They have to get old clothes. They can't leave the village or the surrounding walls. They have to use like this little book to spend any money on anything, to like check mark it off, almost like a checkbook. I mean, checkbook. And basically everyone, like every one of the Haibane, long for the day of their day of flight. And the day of flight is kind of an unsettling type of thing throughout the series, but it's also kind of really beautiful too. There's specifically a character that Raka attaches herself to and introduces her a lot to the world, and yeah, she ends up leaving as well in her life. But yeah, I'd say like the best thing about this series is just the topics that it covers, but also just like the vibe. It's very like it just has that like a different vibe to it. It's very retro. A lot of the animations, and I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it's definitely like you could tell it's an old anime. but like it's not, it's the kind of charm where like it's good enough. And then also the style itself, like you can see it on this cover, it's almost pastelish, and it's a very well made, and just the overall world is very like it's just so just different. It has such a good vibe to it. I was like thinking of like comparisons. I would say like it's almost like a Ghibli film, and I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I've heard that a few times, like a certain anime being like a Ghibli film. Like it's not an anime, but like the video game Gravity Rush, that game is very like Ghibli like coded, I'd say, with like the whimsy and the world building of how it is. Like they tell you, I think that's why I compare it. Like a lot of Ghibli movies, they show you enough through the plot to, you know, elaborate on the world, but they don't explain everything. They leave it up to us to figure it out, and that's kind of what this anime does as well. The world of Old Home and Guri is just so mysterious, and that's really what's so interesting about it. And really everyone I've recommended this anime to has always gotten some kind of new extrapolation from, you know, the text itself, because like this anime deals with like grief, deals with like what is the purpose of life, it deals with isolation, the repercussions of others, like self-love, acknowledging that, you know, you can't do everything by yourself, and, you know, ultimately finding your own salvation, your own path in life. And like this is also something that like I think is kind of in both of these series I'm talking about, these franchises, is that like both of them I don't know why I zoomed in that much, both of them deal with like self-discovery, both of them deal with like seeking what is best for oneself. Like you know, I always think that's like the essence of life, like finding what is your true self and not staying stagnant in what others want you to do, because ultimately like you're just suffering by doing that. And not saying that you always have to be, you know, alternative to others. That doesn't always work for everyone, and that's not something that everyone should always do. But, you know, living your truth, like live what is fitting for you. And that's really what I get from this anime. Like it truly opened my eyes. Like this anime, like you'll leave this anime, by the time you finish it, I guarantee you will leave with something that will like blow you away in this anime. And I would say this anime, I mean, this is just from my perspective, it's almost like religious kind of, with some of it, because these characters are kind of in a so all these characters basically, like it's implied that they have died, like right at the start. It's implied that they all died in some way. They don't remember their names. They all are born from these cocoons. Everyone is aged differently. There's kids, there's older folk that are Haibane, there's adults. I know I said older folk. There's just adult-like, and there's teenagers. And basically like everyone, like you can tell that like not everyone is, you know, they come from the same flock, you know what I mean? So it's just the matter of like, is this a purgatory? Like, is this like why are they reincarnated in another world? Like there's so many nuances with each character, and like yes, a lot of the main characters, they all like have a conclusive arc for them, even Raka herself. So, you know, if you're looking for that kind of satisfaction, you will find it. And this anime also has a happy ending, I would say, just to spoil that. You know, sometimes, at least for me, I like knowing if there's gonna be a happy ending or is it a bad ending, just so I can mentally prepare myself sometimes. But yeah, that's 13 episodes, and it's also all on YouTube. That's originally where I watched it at, way back when. It should be still up, because I showed it to my sister not too long ago. And yeah, it's a great anime, and it's also, I'll say this, as cutesy as it looks. This is the same creator that did Zero Experiments Lane. which if you know, you know, that's also a very like layered anime. I believe the mangaka, or I'll just say author, I have to be super specific, is Yasutoshi Abe. I just looked it up. And yeah, great freaking author. I need to read more of his, or watch more of his works if he has any, but I only know of those two that I mentioned, which, you know, includes Haibane Renmei. So the next one is this beautiful cyberpunk anime. Like, okay, so this one is probably, I'm not going to try to be too long, because I want these to be at least 15 minutes, and I already wasted too much with Haibane. But, you know, you've probably heard of, if you know anime or you've been around the community, you've probably heard of this. At least in the cyberpunk space, and also just in the general like America space, because there was James Cameron's adaptation of Alita Battle Angel with the live action in 2019. So this isn't an unknown series, but I still feel like it's very underrated because of two reasons. One being the fact that it doesn't have a definitive anime adaptation. Out of all the cyberpunk animes I've seen, even the recent one that came out for kind of a true adaptation for Ghost in the Shell, on Crunchyroll and whatever else is on. I think it's the way I'm watching it is on Amazon. So, but yeah, the fact that like, granted, Ghost of the Shell is, you know, really popular, most because of the movie. But yeah, it's has so many iterations for that. So like, I've always wondered why there hasn't been an Alita version, especially given the fact that like, yes, Alita can kind of be really cyberpunky, and by really cyberpunky, maybe I can get on the right page, but there is some nudity, there is some brutality between not only just the cyborgs themselves, but also just normal humans. There's a lot of blood and guts, and you know, at times it can get a little bit too detailed. I feel like maybe that's another aspect, just the detail alone. It's like, I know, like, I don't want to compare it to Berserk, but like I have always thought like it's the kind of thing, maybe this is like too detailed sometimes. Maybe this is like almost Berserk levels of detail, because sometimes the landscapes can be very detailed, and maybe that's just kind of hard to adapt. I don't know if I can find the perfect page, because this is the first volume. Also, this is the deluxe version of it. I love this version. I have the regular version, but like the deluxe version is just so beautiful. I love seeing this in like the full scale. But yeah, just to like get to the nitty gritty, because I didn't actually talk about it yet. I've just been talking about the surrounding of it. Also, this is the original series, and then this is the sequel, which I'll talk about in a sec, and this is the prequel that's still ongoing, if I recall, because I actually got to catch up on this, I won't lie. This is already in it, the sequel series, but this is the like technically most recent one, because he went from the Yukato Kishiro, he went from this to this to this. So yeah, but yeah, basically this is a seinen series, which I would I'll be honest, I know all the senens and shonens and shoujos, but like the exact definition is beyond me, if I'm being honest. But like, at least from what I get the gist of, seinen is typically like the more adult version of the two. It's more geared towards adults, and they talk about more serious themes, which is exactly this. So yeah, you know, the premise of the story is about, you know, Alita herself, and throughout each series of this, she has a very deep and long past. But in this first one, she's basically she has amnesia, and she's recovering memories, and she's found in a junkyard by a doctor named Ido, and honestly, he's pretty much a father figure for most of the series. And yeah, like, he helps her out, gives her a new body, and basically it's just a journey of self-discovery and she soon finds out that she has like what is called Panzerkunst, this like martial arts, this like it's like a cyborg martial arts in this universe. Like all these warriors, and basically like after that, she becomes a bounty hunter. And also I'll state too, there was a OVA adaptation, but just like the movie, it stopped at like pretty much where Hugo, I won't spoil what happens, but the character Hugo, something happens with him, and both of them end exactly there, and it's so jarring that both of those movies ended there. It's pretty sad. I wish James Cameron. I know the movie. I think the movie did do really well, so it is kind of odd that there wasn't any more, because he did do a great adaptation. But back to like me describing this. Yeah, just the series, like I said, can get pretty gory. It's about self-discovery with her. There's different like action scenes of like her hunting down people. One of the main antagonists. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm forgetting his name right now. See, I actually have a script this time if you watched the last episode, but I'm forgetting stuff already. My brain, when it comes to remembering stuff, even though I've read it, can be flimsy. He's a doctor. He's like the mad scientist doctor. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Jeez. Just on my computer right here, so I'll just do it. Jeez. But yeah, like honestly, alternatively to Haibane Renmei, if you want a action series, this is the one for you. It gives you some good action, gives you some good drama, gives you some good if you want some horror kind of, in a sense, you'll get that. Nova is his name. But yeah, the Destiny Nova is his name, the antagonist. But like the series basically. But yeah, like for the first series, it ends kind of sudden. I'm not gonna lie. And there's also a lot of cool stuff within this series. Like one of my favorite things in the series is the like the skater bull thing, the batter bull. I'm terrible how I'm forgetting this stuff. And I've read this series plenty of times. I don't know how I'm forgetting this right now. But yeah, like there's definitely like it ends suddenly, so that's where kind of this series springs off to, which I won't spoil much, but essentially like she's back, and the series kind of takes a turn, like where the first series, yes, did have some action, did have some you know, tension with in combat, but this series goes full-blown action a lot of the time, and kind of almost goes supernatural. And honestly, if you're more, I mean, of course you can't skip series because you need the context, but if you do the you know, the catch up, because the first series, to be honest, is not that long to get through, and you know, the sequel series and the prequel series are much longer, so you know that you'll probably breeze through the original series pretty quickly if you're a quick reader like me. But yeah, I think like overall though, and also the prequel series, basically her origins as a kid, and this is Erica. She's kind of another key character in the series and her background. But yeah, I definitely suggest this series. I think this is a pretty mature series, I'd say. I think both of these shows are pretty mature, but I mean, you know, you get what you pay for. So yeah, thank you for watching, and God bless. Also was motored ball. I finally found it. It was Motorball. That's what the arc's called.